Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. We are here with a brand new episode of Avon Ants Team Live Training. Plus, we are in a brand new place. So, same time, new place. So, because we're doing a little bit of a change, I'm going to give you guys all a minute to get logged in. But for those of you who might just be joining me for the first time, my name is Georgiana Haynes, and this is our weekly Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Ants Team Live Training where we get together and share tips, tricks, ideas, motivation, encouragement, and our wins for the week. So, this is our weekly gathering spot virtually. We're just shifting on over into YouTube. So, we're going from like a Panera bread to a Kosi, or maybe in reverse. I don't know. Kosi bread is really good. So, we're going to go from Panera to Kosi. So hope you guys are all able to log in and able to switch over. For those of you who have been with me from the beginning, this is like our third change because at first we were on my personal YouTube page and I got a little bit more confident and a little more comfortable talking and sharing with you guys. And some of you had been messaging me like, why can't I share the link? It's private. So I appreciate the love and support that you guys have been sharing and showing me. So we switched over to my page. So some of you might still be watching on my page. It's still going to be available on my page for you to watch, but the comments and interaction is now all going to be happening on YouTube. So as I said, I could still see your comments. They're still happening in the chat box. So I believe yep, can still see what's happening, see what you guys are talking about, and stay on top of the conversation. So don't be shy. we got the chat turned on, settings are ready for commenting, and it's live, so I will be able to respond to you guys just like we used to on Facebook. So we're going to continue the interaction that we've always had, because as I always say, this is not just me, the talking head on the computer. This is a dialogue and a conversation, and this is about all of us getting together, celebrating each other's success and each other's wins, but learning and growing together. And I have seen, and I love so much the accountability that has developed over these last few months, because we're basically like on our barely second year anniversary. We're like at a year and a half. But it's been amazing to see the camaraderie that's been growing. And it's been amazing for me to connect with you guys and learn from you guys and more about you guys. So hopefully no one's having any problems logging in. I see the numbers ticking up as you guys figure out that we're here, and what to do once you're on here. But I do have an eye on Facebook just in case to see if anyone is over there like, hey, why aren't you reading my comments? So come on over to YouTube, just click the little video link and hop on over to YouTube, and be sure to make sure that you have your wins for the week that you're sharing so that we can celebrate with you. If you don't know, the YouTube chat box is below, so go ahead and get typing. I know it's like gonna be a little bit of an adjustment, like, oh my gosh, it's so different from Facebook. But no, you no longer have to log into Facebook and have to deal with the feed and all of the stuff that Facebook has going on. Just come here to the channel. The link is up. I will actually be posting the link to the stream before the video. So for those of you who are sharing, you no longer have to worry about waiting until I finish the stream to be able to share the link, or waiting until I finish the stream, download, upload to YouTube, and then you're able to share. So things are happening a little bit faster around here, which is wonderful. All right, guys. So as I mentioned before, we are going to be sharing our wins for the week as we always do. So make sure that you continue to write your wins for the chat in the chat box below, so that we can all follow along with your progress and your development and celebrate those wins with you. But also, I'm going to be sharing a topic of discussion with you tonight. You don't see it in the title. I know you guys are all like, wait, okay, different place, different title. But I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks for who you want to be able to surround yourself with when you're interested in growing your business. But not just growing your business. I found that this list, it's my top 3 list for the type of people that I want to surround myself with. I feel like this is a list that should actually go for life, because just in life, you need to be able to surround yourself with the best of the best. So I'm actually going to be calling this topic of discussion hashtag squad goals. We're always talking about our squad, and we have those images and gifs that go that are on Facebook and social media with the Lions, rolling with the pack, and we always have this conversation of, that's our squad goals. And I personally, I have I did a class a few years ago on just having a more positive mindset. And one of the things that we had to do in the class was make a list of people that we would surround ourselves with. If we could pick anyone in history, across, time and space, uh, and who we would choose to be in our squad and who we would choose to surround ourselves with. And these are going to be the people that you end up being most like, people you admire, people who would have a positive influence on you, people who would be have a positive impact, but also help you develop and nurture your business or your life, depending on what your goal was within that class. So I thought this was an interesting task because I never really thought about it. I know, growing up, they tell you that show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are, or let me see the people that you surround yourself with, and that's going to be the kind of person that you aspire to be, so on and so forth. And while I do believe that it does have its limitations, I do believe that you can come out of and move up out of different situations. So I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, well, I'm surrounded by this type of person, so this is what I'm going to end up being. Not necessarily. You can move up and out of that, but you're going to have to move away, and you would look to surround yourself with the right kind of people. So this is kind of what I had to do. And I've seen myself doing this from maybe, I don't know, say the upper years in high school, just a development of my friends and the people I surround myself with and the people that I hang out with. And I feel like it has been for the better. And I do have those moments where I'm just like, okay, this person just has to go out because, just get out of my life, because you're not bringing anything positive or anything good. You're like, the people who are just walking drama. So, when we had to do this topic in class, I of course picked people. When they said across time and space, I was like, yes, people. A lot of the people that I picked to be on my list, maybe one of them was alive, but the rest of them were actually dead and gone. But they were the people who, even despite them not being around anymore, they had such a huge legacy and a huge impact on the world that even after their passing, people like me would still want them to be in my social circle. So it caused me to think about as well, not just who I want to surround myself with, but also the kind of person that I wanted to be. And I will realize that I wanted to be the type of person who also left a positive legacy for others, so that when I'm dead and gone, there's something that I left on this earth other than misery and frustration and anger and hatred and so on and so forth. So I think that this is a really good exercise, and I want to today encourage you guys to do this exercise for yourself. Think of, say, 5 to 6 people, no more than 10. So you're not going. When I say squad goals, we're not building an army. These are like your close and personal squad type of people. I want you to first and foremost, after we go through my top 3 people that you want to look for to have in your squad, I want you to make a list of 5 to 6 people, no more than 6. So call it, say, 4 to 6 people that you would want to have in your hashtag squad. The top people that you think would meet the criteria that we're going to talk about today. Some of you already have this list, but if you don't, this would be a good time to do it. And if you do have the list, maybe you're like me, and you haven't seen it in a while. You did it, you wrote it up, and it's somewhere else. I just happened to stumble upon mine this weekend, and I looked at the list, and I really thought to myself, first I looked at the date. I like to date stuff, and I think you guys should too. That's another reason why I like journals, because everything that you write down tends to have a date on it. The scraps of paper, they tend to be shuffled around and come and go, but when you put a date on something, you can really look back and say, wow, in 2009 or 2015, this is where I was in my life, and this is where I am now. And you see that level of growth. So I want you guys, hey Angela and hey Katie, thank you guys for joining me. I'm glad you found yourselves here and found the chat box. But so what I was sharing with everyone was to work on building taking the first steps to build their close and personal immediate squad, and make a list of 4 to 6 people that you would want to have within that squad. And again, this is people across space and time. So, you know, from ancient Rome to modern day, no limits on where the person is from. And even if they're a person who you might say, okay, well, do I want this person on my list? They are inspirational, but maybe they speak ancient Italian or ancient Roman. And you're thinking to yourself, maybe that's not the kind of person, but put them on the list anyway. You know, pretend that they, you know, you've got a language machine that translates. So don't put any limitations on the people that you have on your list, but look at two sets of things. Look at their qualities, their strengths that they will bring to you and your squad. But don't think about people on the squad complementing each other. They are there to be your squad. So don't think of, well, okay, um, I don't know, maybe, or maybe this person has a strength in this and this person has a strength in that, so those two would go together. Don't think about matching up the people on your squad, think about matching up your squad with you. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna get into my top three types of people that you want to make sure that you have in your squad. So this is my hashtag squad goals list, because first and foremost, I want you to know that surrounding yourself with the right kind of people is super important for your success, for your business, and for the success of your legacy. I also want you to realize the importance of being in community. Yes, I am taking this hashtag squad goals list making thing as a way to have fun, and for you to do something that's like outside of the box. But I also want you to, the other reason I'm doing this is because I want you to realize the importance. So the first half of this training and lesson is for you to create your imaginary squad goals, your imaginary squad. So these are the people who are, you know, from time and space. But after we talk about these people, I want you to also look at the people in reality right now that you have in your squad, because you're going to try to mold the people that you surround, well, not to change them, but to change the people that you actually have in your squad so that they match up with your life goals, so that you're not surrounding yourself with the wrong type of person. But I want to encourage you to really think about the people that you have surrounded yourself with, and I want to encourage you to make the effort to get outside of your comfort zone and to create new squad. What is happening? Please tell me this thing didn't crash. It did. Tell me it didn't. I think it's still going, but I have this, my computer does this weird thing where there's like a glitch, but in the top left corner, it's like some imaginary person always touches that same place. Okay, I'm still live. Sorry about that. If I disappeared for you, I disappeared for me, so I panicked. But anyway, so yes, the importance of being in community with others. So I want to stress with you guys, not only is it important for you to have the right type of people within your squad, but to also make the effort to connect with other people. These people, when you connect to others, and I know I'm an introvert, so if you're an introverted person and you're a little bit intimidated by talking to people, I want you to make the effort to get out of your comfort zone, to connect with new people. You can find people that are introverts just like you, so you guys get each other, that is fine. But the importance is for you to connect with other people. One of the reasons I love the business that we're in so much is because it encourages a sisterhood, a brother and sisterhood, but you know, it's a few good brothers. But it encourages a strong sisterhood. It encourages us to meet and do trainings together and do events together, to get together once a year for hashtag Rap Fest 2018. Super excited for that. But these are all events and activities that encourage us to meet other people because of the importance of being in community with others. When you surround yourself with other people, the right other people who are on the right path as you go further, you go harder, you go stronger, you develop better. The chances of you succeeding are increased. So you want to have a really strong squad. So um let me start with the, again, three things, the three types of people that you want to have in your squad. So the first type of person that you're going to be looking for, that again, this is my opinion. Some of you will have things that, add or deduct from this. But for me, the first thing that's important is a person that's positive. And this is important to me because um, when you're around positive people, and I don't just mean positive like, everything is always right, there's never any wrong, everything is always like a fake positive. You know who I'm talking about. You know those people who like everything is just right as rain, but at the same time it's really not, and they know it's not, but they just can't cope with the not. I mean, people who are in a positive mindset, who their mind is in the right place. They build other people up instead of tearing them down. People who will appreciate and respect you, like just good, kind-hearted people. These are people who cheer you on and root for you, regardless of what they're going through. And I always use the image of and I can never remember her name. And I mentioned her in these trainings before because you guys have reminded me of her name. But oh, there's an award show, and there were a group of female. I think it was for best female actress or female lead, and this woman whose name just completely slips my mind, but she's Cookie from Empire. And I don't know why I remember that and not her name, but I've never watched Empire, and I've seen her in hey Jessica, thank you. Good to see you. I think it's Taraji P. I want to say Henson, but her first name is Taraji. Yes, but there was this moment where they were at an award show, and these four amazing women with four amazing roles were up for the same award, and she ended up not being the winner of the award. But the way that she jumped up and clapped and cheered, I keep that in my mind as the type of person that I want to be. The type the type of person that I want to be, and the type of people that I want to surround myself with. Because the way that she cheered for that other person, I mean, I don't really know how she really felt, but I think, and I like to imagine that she was just as proud of her sister, her fellow actress, for winning this award. But I always think of that moment, and I'm like, yeah, that is your sister who has you back. Where even if you guys are going for the same position, she'll still cheer for you just as hard as if she had won or her child had won for herself. So that type of positive, and when I think about people that I want to have in my squad, that moment is what I have in the forefront of my mind. The next thing is that those people create a positive atmosphere. And when you're in a positive atmosphere, whether it's at work or activities that you volunteer in, you feel the difference. Like if you've ever worked in an office with a negative atmosphere, you feel it as soon as you get in, like the weight on your shoulders and not in your stomach. You don't really want to work as much because you're so maybe nervous or anxious or feeling discouraged that you're not putting your best in, you're not putting your all in, you're kind of just there. But when you're in an atmosphere where people are positive and they are, ready to go, and they're driving for the best, and they are supporting other people and saying, yeah, good job, you did great, you feel it. You feel like there's a weight lifted off of you. You feel like you want to go above and beyond. You feel like you can do the things that you maybe didn't think that you were capable of, because there's someone there to say, yeah, I think you could do this. Go ahead, go for it. You can do it. Those are the people that you want to have, and that's the kind of atmosphere that you create. Sorry, let me just get one person who's like, wait, where's the meeting? On the YouTube channel. We're over here. um, so you can also grind longer. Like, if you've ever, I remember when I was in school, for those of you who don't know, I studied architectural design, and we used to do a lot of all-nighters. But sometimes you had a crowd that was like just the right mix of people, where around 2 a.m., where you started to just lose it and completely not know what you're doing, you want to go home, you're frustrated because your model's not coming together the way that you want it to. You're just like, okay, I'm done with this. There's that person who all of a sudden puts on the music, and then like a dance party breaks out, or they come over and they say, do you need any help with that, or that looks great, keep going, don't give up. Or they just start, we could do this, we're almost there, guys, it's 3 a.m., class starts at 9, but we're gonna make it. And all of a sudden you're like, yes, I can do this, I don't need sleep, I'm gonna make it until 9 o'clock. And you do. But without that person, like if it was just you alone, you would just say, okay, you know what, it's 2 a.m., this is ridiculous, I'm going to bed. So that positive atmosphere that positive people create an opportunity, hey Tammy, for you to just be in a group of people who are going together and encouraging each other. Like when you have a project and someone says to you, great job, you did good, or I see what you're working on, and it may not be there yet, they can't really see it in its entirety, but they kind of get where you're going with it, and they're like, you know what, it's pretty good, keep going. All of a sudden you feel like, yes, thank you, I could do this, and you're good to go. So even the atmosphere that positive people create has a really great effect on you. And then positive people, they also have the tendency to just be forward thinkers. I think because they're not focused on how things are in the here and now, because right now things might be kind of gross and yucky and not so good, but they're like, you know what, when we finish this, they're looking forward, then things will be better. Once we finish this night, tomorrow morning, we can go get a cup of coffee and call it a day. You know, they're always looking towards that next best positive thing. And I think that that is great because a lot of times we can get stuck in where we are, whether we're having a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, or a bad year. Sometimes it's easy, and this is me talking to me in this moment, but sometimes it's easy to just say, you know what? I am just sucking at everything right now. Nothing is working the way I want it to go. And then, I'll talk to one of my brothers or sisters in my squad, and they'll say something like, you know what? Yes, you're grinding super hard right now. You're going through it. Things aren't working out, but when you finish this, imagine. Or when you get through this, imagine. When this is done, imagine. And they always encourage me to just be imagining. And that imagination, again, helps me to grind harder, to keep going when I feel like giving up, and to sometimes even just believe in myself because I'm like, you know what? Yes, this is not what I want right now, but this is the road to get me to where I want. If I just stay on this road, keep chug-a-lugging, keep pushing forward, then I can get there. And my focus shifts from right here and right now, the mud that I'm standing in, to the palace or the party or whatever it is that you have in front of you that is motivating you. It's so easy when we're walking to just end up like this, and our focus and our belief window just comes down here and can be so negative. But when you have positive people to kind of lift up your head and say, no, look, this is what you're focusing on, that is what you're working towards, that is the place where you are going, ignore here and now, focus on that. That makes the world of difference. And for me in my life, I can cite specific moments in my life where I was just ready to quit, huge, like mega, like drop out of school, quit my major, all kinds of things in my life where I was just like, you know what, I am done. I'm not doing this anymore. I physically can't. And I just had that person come and say, no, look, that is what you're going for. And it made a world of difference to me. So for me, positive people are the number one people that I want to have on my list. But remember, real positive, not just I'm going to be perky and cheery positive, but like real positive people who can be where you're at, understand what you're going through, and say, yes, I get that, but imagine this. Or no, don't look at where you are. You can do this. I believe in you. Or if no one else believes in you, believe in yourself. You can do this. It can make a world of difference. So, the next person that I have on my list is the honest person. So again, the honest person is not the person who, we all have one of these in our lives, will quick, fast, and in a hurry tell you about yourself, tell you about where you're from, tell you about your family, what you drive, what you're wearing, always has something to say, but it's usually negative. This is why I had the honest person as my second person, because you want to use that positivity at the top as a filter, because there are honest people who they want to say things and get it off their chest, either to belittle you, to put you down, or to make them feel better about, whatever. Or even sometimes I've got people who just need to say something to have something be said. There's no value or quality to what they're saying, but they need to, those people need to put their 2 cents in. And it's really important for you to identify the difference when I say honesty, because honesty for the sake of honesty is not what we're looking for. When I say honesty, I'm looking for the kind of person who keeps you in line, keeps you on track, who doesn't belittle you just because, but will say things again in this positive light to course correct you, to help you stay on track. Um, I like to think of them as my guardrail people. These are the people who keep you from driving off the cliff. With a positive person, yes, you can have a person who's like, yeah, go for it. This is great. Keep going. You could go. You could do it. The honest person is going to be the person who's going to be like, okay, see what you're doing here. I like what you're doing, but is this really where you want to go with this? Is this really how you want things out to work out? They have your best interest in mind, and they will check you when you need to be checked. One of the best analogies I have for this is the kind of person that ask the questions, the big questions, the things that get you thinking. Because when they ask that question, you're like, what? Is this where I want to be going? I thought so, but you're asking me why. So give me a minute. Let me reevaluate why I wanted to go in this direction, and I'll get back to you. But they kind of force you to think outside of your own mindset. Now, I'm a person. I get in the car, pedal to the metal. I'm driving. Mind on destination. Everything else is just roadkill. You get in my way, I'm running you over. There are times though where I need positive people in my life, because sometimes I can get tired of just being on the road and driving and not getting anywhere, and that is usually my frustration. But the honest people, they will come. They're the person who sits in the car and is like, "You're going 60 miles an hour. Don't you want to dial it back a little bit so that you don't get tired? You got a long way to go. Do you want to go the whole thing at 60 miles an hour, or you're going 30 when you could be going 80. Dial it up a notch. You can do better than this." Or the person who, when you're sleeping at the wheel, is like, hey, are you sleeping? I see you. And they'll call you out when you need to be called out. And that's why I kind of call them guardrail people. But again, just to show the contradiction, you don't want people who will get in the car with you knowing full well that you shouldn't be driving because you're too sleepy, sit in the car, watch as you swerve all over the road, wait till you get to your destination to tell everybody about how you were sleeping behind the wheel and how they told you that you shouldn't have been driving when they didn't say anything to you. So again, the honesty factor comes in first and foremost, because that friend is going to be the friend who looks at you and says, no, 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 you shouldn't be driving. You look too tired. I'll drive. Or who gets in the car and is just like, you're sleeping. Get out of the car. I'm driving. So that's how I want you to be able to differentiate. So when I say honest, don't just look for the person who has like diarrhea of the mouth and they're telling you every little idea that comes to their mind. Because an honest person, honestly, has to be able to know when's the right time to say something and when's not the right time to say something. Not everything needs to be said at all moments. There's a right time for things. They need to be the type of person who can check you and course correct you in private when you need to be checked in private. They're not trying to make a spectacle of themselves. So when I say positive people, positive to think about others. And then when I say honest, that positivity also affects the honest person. So it's not like, the world is their stage and this is the show, and they will upstage you and knock you down in front of other people just to get laughs, or just to, because it's the fun thing to do, or because they're around other people. So they're not wishy-washy. What you see is what you get. And I always count myself blessed, because there are people in my life who I know I could go shopping with, so to speak. They will not let me walk out of that store in an outfit that's going to make me make a fool of myself, or that, just doesn't look right on me, doesn't fit me, whether it's too big or too small, or is so far out of my price range that I'm going to be putting myself into debt for. People who are real, like the real. And I always cherish people like this when I find them, because they're actually, I think that they're a rarity. They're few and far between. So when you find people like this, and try to find people like this, but when you do find them, hold on to them, because they're good people. They're the people you want to have in your squad. And then lastly, the third type of person that I think that you should have in your squad is the motivated and focused person. So again, most of us are in this as a business. Most of us are here. Most of the people who are here or are in businesses. So um, I talk about grinding and staying focused on your goal and working towards your dream. Um, but if you're surrounded by people who aren't going anywhere, it's also going to be harder for you to move forward and do the things that are within your dream plan if no one else is around you. So for this analogy, I like to think of like a pack of cheetahs or panthers. When they run, or even deer, elk, gazelle, whatever, but pack animals, when they run, they all run together. When they turn, they all turn together. And that animal that's in the middle, when the pack turns, they turn too. So when everyone is moving together, you will all go further, and you will all go, forward. It's rare. Yeah, I can't even really think of a moment where I've seen, like, Animal Channel and all the animals are running this way and one animal just decides, you know what? I'm going to leave the front of the pack and I'm going to run towards the back, like, just for the sake of doing it. They move together. Why? Because there's strength in numbers. When everyone is moving together, you go with the flow. We do this naturally. So if the people that you're surrounding yourself with aren't going anywhere, you're going to end up not going anywhere too. If the people you're surrounding with are really focused and determined and moving forward, and you surround yourself in that and you kind of pack yourself in, you kind of just feel yourself move along too. Just this past weekend we were talking, someone in my family is learning to drive, and I think on their first or second outing, one of their first outings, they were out driving and they were like, I'm going to drive slow because this road is no joke. I'm not going to get out there. Not going to play games. I'm going to be that really cautious, careful driver. And they found themselves on the highway going around with cars that were like moving at about 40 miles an hour. And before you knew it, they're going 40 miles an hour too. And the person who was instructing them was kind of just watching the speedometer. It's like, okay, you're comfortable, you're moving along fine, you're okay, no worries. And then, all of a sudden the driver was like, well, I don't know if it was the driver or the instructor, but they, brought it up that they were going at 40, and the person was like, what? Whoa, 40? Okay, I need to slow down. I'm going too fast. But while they were moving with the other cars in the pack, they were okay because they were, just moving along with everyone. The flow of the traffic was quick, so they had no problem moving along with the other crowd. They just kind of got in the group and got swept along. And we do that in life, and we do that in business as well. So the reason why it's so important for you to surround yourself, whether it's in business or in life, but especially in business, with focused and motivated people, is because you will do what the people around you are doing. If they're pulling back, you'll find yourself pulling back too. If they're finding things to nitpick about and criticize and complain about, and nothing's ever working and nothing's ever working out, and no one else is ever working and nothing is ever happening, you'll find yourself repeating those things too. And for me, I found this for myself in business too. When I surround myself with people who are just like, nope, nothing, no, never, ever gonna happen, I start repeating those things too. So I've learned to again connect with people, and this is why I love to go to conferences and meetings and leadership trainings, because usually those people are serious enough about what they're doing to pay for the airfare and the hotel and the registration fees to go to an event where they can plug in with other like-minded people. And when I tell you, when I get together with other people whose minds are on track and we brainstorm, it is a truly beautiful thing. But I don't get that on my own because you get in your own thought processes. You're sometimes it's hard to see outside of where you are, but also like just the energy that comes from everyone having that same focus. Sometimes we come up with ideas that I know I never would have thought of on my own, or we'll brainstorm together, and just by bouncing ideas off of each other in that rapid succession, we go from here to there, and you just it's just it's motivating and empowering. So you want to surround yourself with people who have that level of motivation and focus. If you go somewhere and you sit at a table, and I had to tell this to a representative on my team the other day because she went to an event and she sat at a table where everybody was just like, no, it's never working. Oh my God, change. Everything is so horrible. I don't know. It's all or it's all the same. Nothing ever changes. It's always gonna be this way. Don't expect improvements. I've lived and worked through everything. It's always going to come back to be the same thing. And I was like, you need to get off of that table. You need to go find some other people to sit with, because I bet you that same group of people 2, 3, 4 years from now, they're going to be in the same place. And I'm not talking just title changes, because that's just not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like in life. There's no growth in that type of atmosphere. They're there just the ideas that they're bouncing around between each other are ideas of no success, no growth, no motivation, no encouragement. They're not doing anything to help each other. It's like a bog or quicksand. It's like quicksand. They're there, they're just sitting. And if they're going anywhere, they're all going down. You don't want to be in a group of those people. If you catch yourself surrounded with those people, if you catch yourself having those types of conversations, be quick to snap yourself out of it. Again, I find that if I'm with positive people don't really have those type of conversations. And if they do, like I'm a person, I tend to be pretty positive or upbeat most of the time. But I do have my moments where I'm just like, this is not working. I'm just not getting anywhere. This is, I don't know, I'm frustrated. I'm bleh, just, ugh. But it doesn't last long. And if it does start to last long, I'm like, wait, something's wrong here. I need to change something. I'm in a funk. I'm in a mood. I feel it, and I don't want to be in. I want to get out of it. So when you're surrounded by other people, you don't have those sinking conversations for too long, because eventually someone will say, wait, no, there's a disturbance in the fourth. I don't like this. I need to get out of it. And honest people, they will be the ones to say, you know what? You're being really negative right now. Like, this is not what's with this kind of talk. This is quitter talk. Let's not talk this. Let's get out of this. Let's move on. So positive and honest people will help you, but the motivated person is the one that keeps you moving. So let's say, for example, positivity is your gas. That's a fuel that keeps you going. Honesty, those are your guardrails. Those are what keep you on the road. And motivated people, those are your vehicle. Those are the people who move you forward. That's the car, the wheels, all of that lovely stuff. These are the people, they're driven about something. Even if they're not, within the same company or field or profession. Sometimes connecting with people who are outside of your field and profession but are still driven and motivated will be helpful to you as well, because they'll be able to look at what you're doing from a different point of view. They'll be able to sometimes ask the questions that you might think are simple, that you may not realize are important, because you do it every day and it's just something that comes easily to you. But to them, they might be fresh, just not understand what you're doing. They might ask a question one day that's just getting you to realize that you're here, and the people you're thinking about or intending to talk to are here, and you're not making a connection because you think they should understand, but they really don't. So don't even imagine, yes, it's great if they are in your same field and you're in your same profession, or same business, same company, same group or same level. That is great. But don't knock the people who might be outside just because they're doing something different. If they're focused and determined and moving forward, that focus is just as good. That energy, that forward moving momentum is still great. And sometimes having the similarities helps. Sometimes being too similar can not be a good thing, because you'll bounce ideas off of each other here when where you need to be is over here. So, think outside of the box when you're thinking about motivating people that you want to surround yourself with. But I like to think of the I don't know what to call it, but you guys have heard the term like a knife sharpening another knife. Try to surround yourself with other sharp knives to make it easy. When you meet and connect with and surround yourself with people, ask yourself, is this person sharpening me, or are they a dull knife? And if you're thinking that you're just like they are not contributing anything to our mutual state of being, this may not be the type of person that you want to have in your squad. It might be a time for you to move away. And don't be surprised if your squad is changing. You should be changing and growing and developing as a person. So it's only going to be natural for your squad to change too. You'll move away from some people and you move closer to some people. But as long as you're moving forward, then it's going to be good. You'll have that positivity. As long as you're moving forward, you'll have that positive result. And other people, their path might take them away from you, and that's okay. Your path might take them away from them, might take you away from them. That's okay as well. But with that in mind, just keep in mind that you should be constantly reevaluating the people that you surround yourself with. And sometimes you might have a person who is maybe strong on your squad in these top three things, but maybe you guys just butt heads and don't get along with each other. And that's possible too. So, you know, don't just keep a person in your squad because they're positive, because they maybe could be a positive person, but in the wrong way. Maybe they're a positive person who's dishonest. So you might have to eliminate them from your squad. So be be picky about the people who you surround yourself with. Why? Because your life, your legacy, your family, your future family maybe even depends on it, because the decisions that you make today affect those future generations. And as much as we hate to um as people just be accountable for our decisions, a small decision like who you hang out with could have a huge impact later on down the line. So I think that we as people should have the right to be really picky and choosy about the people that we surround ourselves with. But keep in mind, if you're shallow about it, like, oh, I only want to surround myself with rich people, that's not. Notice I didn't put must have a lot of money on this list. I put character traits, because you want to surround yourself with good people, positive, um, highly motivated and focused people, and honest people. I've met some really amazing people who don't have two cents to rub together, as my mom says. But I may not look for that for that person to give me financial advice, but because of what they provide as a person, this is a good person that I want to have in my life, because I know they have my back. So at the end of the day, when you're finished making your squad, these should be your ride or die chicks, as we say. You should have those friends who have your back no matter what, through thick or thin, and that you can count on, that you can rely on. Because also, if it's a person that you can't rely on, doesn't belong to your squad. Just let them go. So I hope you guys found this helpful and inspiring, and I hope that you guys are actually going to be thinking about who you have in your close circle of friends, because you'll see that it is so very important. And I think that once you start to be conscious of the people you're surrounding yourself with, the things that they're saying and the things that they're doing, you will also start to see a shift in where you are. Because like I say, the wrong people are like sitting in quicksand. You could just not be moving or moving down. And when you start to shift towards positive, honest, and motivated people, you're going to be moving towards paved ground where you could really catch traction and gain your momentum and really move forward. And I'm looking forward to all of us being able to be on that road of life together. And I am thankful that I can count many of the people who are here and who watch this live stream as a part of my hashtag squad. But I'm also, working on developing my squad into the type of people that I want to surround myself with. And that comes from me also being responsible for what I bring to the table. So I made this list for, you to think of who you surround yourself with, but also as a mirror to hold up to yourself, because I hold it up to myself. And, if I see a friend doing something or wearing something and I'm just like, should I say something? I would want her to say it to me. So let me say it to her. Or is saying this right now in this atmosphere going to embarrass her? Then no, maybe I need to say it when the two of us are alone together, because that's the kind of person I want to be. So just as much as this is a checklist for you to use to find your squad, it's also a checklist for you, because the right people, if you're not matching up with these goals for them, they're not going to have you in their squad either. And again, it is really important for you to be in community with others. So you want to use this as a mirror for yourself as well, to ask yourself those tough questions. Am I motivated? Am I motivating the people around me? Am I honest? Am I being honest with the people around me? Am I positive, or am I dragging down the people around me? So ask yourself those things. So 3 homeworks. First and foremost, make your squad from cross time and space. Who are your 4 to 6 people that you would want to be in your squad? What are their traits and what do they bring to the table? 2, look at the people that are around you and start to filter your squad. You have that right. And thirdly, look at yourself and see if you are the kind of person that you would want to have in your own squad. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. It was a pleasure speaking with you and hanging out with you guys. I still want to see more goals and wins for the week in the chat box. I am waiting for that, but because we're changing things around this week, I'll let it go. But next month is March, fresh new month. We will be right back here on my channel. I believe the same link will be good to go, but this video will be up on YouTube. So if you want to come back and watch and remake your checklist, or if you have anything that you want to add, anything that maybe I triggered in your thought process that you want to share with the rest of the group, please come back, share in the chat box, because again, this right here is a form of our community, and it's important that we all contribute a little bit to help build up and sharpen each other. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you and seeing you again next week. Have an awesome evening, guys. Bye.